Hey guys, welcome back to the Fair Dinkum Podcast. Today we had a beautiful episode for you. Ali, the big man. The main man, the big man's different, no? Hey guys, welcome back to the Fair Dinkum Podcast. Today is an amazing episode for you. We had Ali, long awaited, 4 months out of the studio. He's back with us four boys, chatting about everything that he went and he did. We got to speak about his traveling through Europe, solo traveling to nearly 10 countries, all about it, pros and cons, meeting some subscribers, all the things he learned. You guys are going to love this episode. Remember to like, comment and subscribe and enjoy.
Islamic countries and you get that Islamic feel and environment, you want to be able to share that with your family or friends.
Do they speak English well there?
There's not many of the locals speak English, bro.
Oh,
and that's what I was
How
shocked
about
about.
Arabic? Because Syrians, there's a lot of Syrians.
Yeah,
speakers.
heaps of Syrians in the shops.
So you can get by in
Selling
Arabic.
clothes and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Jamil.
If
Okay,
you know
so
Yeah, that's
Arabic.
actually heaps.
But
of
that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Lebanese Arabic though.
But you know Arabic.
لا تتكلم اللغة العربية.
Anyways,
But I need to pull out that episode that this guy goes, I know Arabic.
polyglot.
I can't- that's the language.
Then there's several other options you can use.
You can use it in a cup
Straw
too.
obviously is very specific, bro.
That is very true. What's the juices like in Espanol? You know I changed your name in my contacts, by the way.
So what?
By the way, if you make
So Wayfair or
another,
something?
if you make another phone number,
Bro, I went to office and
I've
I tried
tried
fixing it,
if
bro.
he does it one more time, you're not coming back in the group chat.
Yeah, what's this about you losing not only your number but your camera?
Yo,
Oh, you're gonna start like that.
That's a stinker.
I told the boys early today and they couldn't believe it because I was helping Ahmed set up. He's like, yeah, all right, let's get your camera out. We're gonna have 3 cameras. I'm like, bro, I lost it. It was in Sevilla as well.
Mm.
And honestly,
Hey, how
it
much?
hurts till this day, bro.
What are you
Yeah.
trying to whip? What's that?
Ahmed, you're not at the episode this week, yeah? Just hold it up for a bit.
Wait. So you don't know where it went, how it went, when it went.
No,
It just disappeared.
No, I remember in Sevilla, it was in Uber. It was in an Uber ride. So it was in my side bag that I put down, and I was with some of the boys traveling around, and we were trying to figure out like where the Airbnb is. And Airbnb is obviously is not just a regular hotel. You have to find like a random location, someone's place they usually rent out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to speak to the guy in Spanish, which I'm struggling, and at the same time having like the boys are trying to obviously talk because they're so excited about things happening. Next thing you know, we get out, we finally find the place. We weren't even sure by then, but we still got out. And next thing you know, you forget the bag. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
The whole bag.
Yeah, like side bag, like in front of me.
What else was in
My-
the bag?
No, just like, not many other things, honestly. Like,
Come on, name her.
maybe some money, but then it was,
Yeah, but
camera's
true.
worse, bro.
Exactly.
Mm.
But then a camera, you're documenting your memories. You can't put a price.
So how much have you
Yeah.
lost from that as well? How much footage?
No, it was alright. Storage-wise, I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was backing up, like, every second day or whatever.
So you had it on the computer already?
Yeah, but it's just like the physical camera, losing it, like, it hurt, man. It hurt bad.
And how far into the trip
Okay.
was this?
All together,
Yeah. Was it towards the start and?
it was halfway. So like 2 months in.
And you were recording vlogs and content and stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was recording a
During
fair
that
bit,
time.
man.
Yeah.
So it did hurt. Like I didn't even know what I was gonna do from there because I was getting so used to using my camera
Yeah.
for most of the recordings and stuff and then photos.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you, bro.
You're
You're the first one, bro.
He started off with selling.
I'm the one who kicked it off. Yeah.
No, there's probably
Oh,
people
threw
thinking,
him
who
under
the
the
hell is this
bus.
bloke, man?
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys.
It feels weird, man.
We have a special guest today.
If you guys joined us after the Ali's Leaving podcast, which you probably would have known that Ali left, this is Ali. Say hi to Ali.
4 months later.
Well, it's a new version of Ali. It's Ali Espanol.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we have to test him.
Yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
He's back.
I got another one.
Fast.
He's back. He's a new man.
Hablo
Ya
inglés?
Allah.
Sí, hablas español.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
I don't know, how do I reply to that?
Just say sí.
Muy bien.
Exactly.
Muy bien.
Mm.
Hola,
Taco.
Diego.
Real Madrid. Barcelona.
Football.
Sí.
My name is Sohail in Spanish.
Oh,
But
man.
anyways, welcome back, Mr. Ali.
Thank you, bro.
Mm.
How are you feeling? Refreshed? You look tan. You look like
Yeah, very dark.
you
tan,
got
man.
a spray tan, bro.
I had a strong tan because from the Spanish sun.
Mm.
Spanish sun. It's a
Bro,
different sun.
hey.
What up in Spain?
No, honestly, the Spanish sun, bro. It's like super. It's like high 30s every day.
Mm.
I went at the peak time as well. So like I got there late July or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out when I got there that, so when I got there, like obviously a few days later, August, and then in August apparently, 70% of locals in like the south of Spain travel elsewhere because it's just way too hot.
Mm-hmm.
They say they either go to the coast,
Yep.
so like to Malaga or Cadiz or whatever, or they just travel internationally. So when I went, it was like dead streets. I remember speaking to this guy, I FaceTimed him once and I was saying, yeah, well, like, I don't know why it's so quiet.
Yeah.
The next day I find out from one of the locals, yeah, most people have left.
In Spanish? Was that in Spanish?
What was it?
Did you speak to the guy in Spanish?
No, he's an Egyptian guy actually.
Cheated.
My Spanish wasn't that good, yeah.
But yeah, so tell us, how do you feel coming back after a long hiatus? You know, because you got a nice 3 or 4 more podcasts lined up for the rest of this week.
It's a busy fortnight, man. It's a busy fortnight.
Hit me hard in the deep end. Now it feels weird. Well, honestly, it feels so weird because 4 months is actually a long time, especially traveling by yourself most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're doing so much more. You can get so much done as well when you go to travel to certain places and so. Obviously, I came back for certain reasons. Alhamdulillah, like it feels weird. It still hasn't hit me. It's been almost not even a week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it feels weird, man.
So jet lagged a bit, or
Kind of. Honestly, I've been like the coffee's been helping a lot to stay up and stuff. But it's more of my energy levels just either rising and dipping. Just like it's not as consistent. So my body's still getting used to the time zone.
When you know, sometimes when people come back from overseas, they have that feeling that like life moves on without you.
Yeah.
You know, like I know us, like Ferinka, when you left, we're like the first week, like we didn't see each other for like a week, and we're like, man, like it's gonna be so different. Ali's not here. Then like a week later, I was like, you just gotta go back to business. You just gotta, you know.
again, 4K subscribers. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Hey, that's a sign. Alhamdulillah. Wallah, it's actually been sick to see that.
How about when like you came back? Was there like a shock that's like life moves on without you, or was there?
Yeah, I remember I was speaking on the way back because I obviously met up with mum in Malaysia on the way back, and she was just telling me like when you travel, which I never recognized till she told me. She's like, when you leave at this like specific time, and you come back, that all you're thinking about is the time you left because nothing else has happened because that was the last time you've seen someone, and you're expecting in your head automatically like things will be the same because last time I seen Abdul, last time I seen Suhail was that day, and then it's like you missed out on all this time, like 4 months period, for example, and it's just like it's very strange. So like automatically I'm thinking it's going to be the same, but it's not. So much has happened in your lives. It's a 4-month period. It's a long time.
5 kilos less of me. That's it. That's all you gotta know,
You're
bro.
looking good, bro.
You're looking better, bro. Look at you. You look the same
Exactly.
colour as your shirt.
That's how I wore it, yeah.
Looks like a nice can of Sunkiss that's over there. But anyways, bro. Yeah, no, like, is it surreal now? Is it? What's the feeling like? What's the? Tell us. You know, when I came back, I was kind of depressed.
Yeah, I wanna start it off with like, I reckon we started off like the earlier part of the trip. Obviously, you going to a foreign part of the world, somewhere you haven't been to. What was your feelings when you first got there? And I guess that feelings would have lingered around for like a month or so. How was that like?
This is before Spain, when you travelled Europe and stuff.
Yeah, before he got to Spain and settled in Spain. Because obviously you had a different plan when you were getting there, and plans changed throughout the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what was that like initially? You know?
Okay, so initially I went to Istanbul first for a week, and honestly, I do remember going through a lot of emotions, like as in like mentally, because that's when the trip kicks off. And in my head, it's like, okay, these are going to be 6 to 9 months by myself. This is a long trip ahead. What am I going to go through and stuff like that? And obviously, the first few days of like traveling in general, whether you're with someone or not, it's all new. It's all a new environment, new country. Obviously, there's a language barrier. So being by myself was even just that bit tough at the start, I think. Especially the first day I got there, it was actually Eid.
Oh,
So that hit me kind of, even though I just left my family a few days ago, like it still hit me where it's like, oh, you're not with family on a family occasion type of day.
yeah.
It's like, damn, I'm not going to see my family for this time. And you start thinking, like in the future, this is going to be like a long journey.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, like that whole week at the start, it was a bit interesting because obviously when you're traveling by yourself, you're trying to organize things that you want to do. Sometimes when you're with friends, you're pushing each other, let's go here, you're sharing ideas. And so at the start, it was a bit slow, the days, and it felt a lot longer because it was very strange to me. I was going to see things, but then I kind of felt a bit like, oh, what do I do next kind of thing, you know, doing your own research.
How was the Eid in Turkey? Like, is the whole city like lively? Because it's summer as well.
Mm.
It's a good time of year. Like, what's happening in Istanbul? Like in the
Honestly,
main areas.
It was beautiful because I was staying near Sultan Ahmed, so like the blue mosques, and then Hagia Sophia was like across. I don't know how long, maybe a few hundred meters from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like in the pinnacle area of Istanbul, and it's packed like 24/7. So Eid was obviously packed, especially at night because it's a lot cooler. You know, the summer nights are like beautiful. That's everyone wants to come out because during the day it's way too hot. And so Eid was like amazing just to see everyone. I even got to meet one of my friends that I lived in Jordan with, both Ashraf and I.
Yeah.
So I at least got to spend Eid with someone, which is
Mhm.
beautiful. And I think that kind of got me more comfortable where it's like, okay, I'm going to be meeting people on the way, inshallah, of my trip that I know, all new people. So it's like, it was, yeah.
Did you try to go and meet new people though? Did you like consciously go out there and go, you know what, I'm gonna go to a cafe, sit down and see what happens?
Honestly, in Istanbul, I didn't.
Yeah.
Istanbul's a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also
I
had
know.
your hostel mate that you went around
Yeah.
with. That was Libyan or something.
Yeah, so Algerian guy. So when I was staying in Istanbul my first week, I was staying at a hostel.
Yeah.
And like for people that haven't been hostels, hostels in general, there's pros and cons to it. I think the same with hotels as
They're
well.
dirty.
They can be dirty. There's one or two that I stayed
It's
at.
too positive. They're
Yeah.
dirty.
Honestly, and
Turkey might not be too bad.
there's no such thing as personal space.
Yeah.
No such thing.
Yeah.
Like you have to share bathrooms, bro. For God's sake, like,
God damn.
and it's not easy, bro. And like obviously you're sharing a room with maybe like 6-7 other people. But honestly, the one thing, the biggest pro is meeting people like from different parts of the world.
That's a prime spot to meet people, yeah?
And exactly, and that's what
Yeah.
you kind of forget about some of the cons because it's priceless experience of meeting people from random countries you never thought of, and you're sharing like
Yeah.
experiences and how you think and stuff like that.
No better way.
Sus is loading
Come
up
and
something.
Scrub your back when you're in the shower, yeah? No better way to meet new people, bro.
You and Taha, huh?
Me and Ahmed, bro. What are you talking about, me and Taha?
No.
And Sydney, bro. One day he's asking, hey, do you need any help?
I need all the help I could get.
Can I touch the back of my head, man? Yeah, no, so were you uncomfortable initially? Like,
Yeah,
you
I
walk
was.
in, it's like kind of like a prison cell because you're with this guy you don't know.
Look, there's females as well, so it's even more awkward, bro.
God
Mm.
damn.
And like this is like obviously like mostly non-Muslims because obviously if it's a mix of non-Muslims, it's normal to them.
Yeah.
So it is very awkward, and some people make it awkward as well. The way they look at you or they speak to you.
Yeah.
People are just socially awkward.
For sure.
Tell him you speak Spanish?
This pretty Spain.
Spain.
He's still at see.
Yeah, bad. That's the only thing I can say. Yeah.
Where's Blue Mountain, Dora?
So it was awkward obviously at the start, but you got to pick your moments as well, and you kind of obviously you speak to people and be like, you would rather hang out with like certain other people, maybe like speak to them
And
stuff like that.
and this is when you you're heading to Europe, I'm guessing, yeah?
From Istanbul.
Yeah, from Istanbul.
Yeah, so from Istanbul, then I headed to Europe.
Just so we finish Istanbul and stuff, like, you went prime time. Like, if people want to go, they'd want to go and eat. Like, it's a mad, what's it called?
Time.
Like
Time
Christmas
to go.
in New York.
Yeah, pretty much. And we've had a lot of Turkish guests who talk about how they go to Turkey like every 2 months. You know what I mean? Like, we had Burak.
Who?
He loves that.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
Borak.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's famous over there, Loki.
Is he?
Yeah, doesn't he have like
is he a Ruben?
like a musician or something like Ruben? That guy's wild.
But
anyway,
I've just seen like everyone goes to Turkey. Like in the last 2 years, that's like the number one place people go. So what were your experiences? Is it like worth it? Good? If you are gonna go, how long?
Look, Turkey 100% I recommend by far, like especially as a Muslim, the history there. But it's so much better to experience it with people, like have a shared experience.
why is that? Why is that?
I think because the Islamic feel you get,
Yeah.
and when you go to Islamic countries and you get that Islamic feel in the environment, you want to be able to share that with your family or friends.
Do they speak English well there?
There's not many of the locals speak English, bro,
Oh,
and that's what I
How
was
about
shocked about.
Arabic? Because Syrians, there's a lot of Syrians.
Yeah,
speakers.
heaps of Syrians in the shops,
So you can get by in
selling
Arabic.
clothes and stuff. Yeah.
Jamil.
If
Okay,
you know
so
So there's
Arabic.
actually heaps.
But
But
you-
that's
yeah.
not Lebanese Arabic though.
But you know Arabic.
لا أتكلم اللغة العربية.
Anyways,
But I need to pull out that episode where this guy goes, I know Arabic.
polyglot.
And count that's the language.
I'll test them now. Yeah.
Polyglot. Say it in Arabic. Say polyglot in Arabic.
Ready? You say.
But so then, like, say for example, you wanted to go and meet people in Istanbul, in Turkey.
Yeah.
it wouldn't be as easy as going to the local mosque and seeing like if there's a local there that's sitting there reading Quran or whatever it is, going up to them, talking to them in English,
Oh, okay.
saying hello, how are you?
No. Honestly, in Istanbul, first of all, Istanbul's packed, man. And I felt like maybe in the summertime it's the most packed. But every day for me, when I was there the whole week, it was absolutely packed. And obviously there's so many mosques, but every mosque is just full. And there's so many tourists, and there wasn't many English-speaking tourists from what I noticed.
Yeah.
Because these are Muslims all across the world.
Okay.
So not all Muslims are like from English-speaking countries.
Do you know what's crazy? My auntie came back from South Africa, and she said people in South Africa travel to Turkey because the rand, the South African currency, is the same as the Turkish.
Like
So, yeah, the level. The level. So, for example, like there's a lot of European countries, maybe even like America, us here in Australia. People from South Africa, people from Indonesia, they can't travel here. The dollar is a joke. You're gonna spend a whole day's work on a meal. So they go to countries like Turkey. So you probably found so many other people travel from Africa, from the Middle East that don't have the finances. They go to Turkey.
Yeah, you see more Spanish-speaking people as well, tourists.
Mm.
So I was getting G. I was like, damn, I can't wait to get to Spain, man.
Yeah.
So one of the brothers I was staying with, I was spending time with from my hostel, Algerian brother.
Yeah.
And he's actually he's an officer, police officer in Algeria.
Okay.
And I was getting to know him.
Should
and
have been
stuff.
up with him.
Yeah, I should have, man. But his English wasn't
He's
that
12.
good. He spoke a few languages, but his English was like just okay.
Could have did an Arabic podcast.
Well, he speaks. Is that it? Algerian, bro.
Suhail's loading up.
Abdiwali could have
Translated.
That would have been a good app. Yeah.
looked at this is loading up.
Algerian Arabic's too difficult, man. I
Babe,
tried speaking to him.
Yeah.
He obviously spoke Fusha to me. He didn't speak Algerian.
Oh,
I
wow,
speak
okay.
Fusha.
So
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen.
that was interesting.
What's
man.
one thing that surprised you the most about Istanbul?
In general?
Yeah.
Honestly, at the start, I wasn't very comfortable with how the locals are because they're very straightforward as people. Like they just say it as it is, and honestly, you prefer that. But then at the start, they came across very rude to me.
Mm.
That's what I thought when dealing with
Ah.
people buying stuff. I thought they were very rude. I was like, bro, I don't like this place, man. I don't like these locals. This is going in my head. I gave it a few days and stuff towards the end of the week, thinking, bro, what was I thinking? Like I love these people. Like they're just beautiful people. They're actually very accommodating, and like there's even times you stay at restaurants. And like after you eat and you're just staying, you're chatting with the people like I've met from hostels and stuff. They just give you free tea because they want you to stay. Because also the idea is when you stay at a restaurant and people are walking past the street, it looks busier.
Yeah.
So it's actually a good thing. So they're gonna give tea. Obviously, it doesn't cost much for them, but the act of actually giving the tea to us for free, it's just like that's.
Tricks of the
Priceless.
trade, mate.
Yeah,
Honestly.
marketing
Yeah, that's-
So
101.
little things like that, I was like, wow, like you really appreciate the kindness of these people and stuff like that.
But they were using you, so.
And then they got free tea, bro.
We
Like,
use
was
more
like-
you want.
yeah. So like honestly, I judged them a bit at the start. Maybe just for me being uncomfortable in general with traveling.
Yeah, I understand.
I was very defensive in a lot
Also,
of
we're
things.
from Melbourne, bro.
Yeah.
Melbourne, everyone's
That's
kind,
true.
everyone's kind of like
Yeah, yeah.
smiling, saying hello, it's people are polite here.
Pretty
Yeah,
approachable.
we
yeah.
expect everyone else to be like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's
not
not
like
the same.
Sydney.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so then the next trip, the next adventure was Scandinavia, was it?
yeah. So I first went to London for 4 days.
Mhm.
Sorry, skip London. My bad.
No, I went because
Wayfarer.
I went. So I was only there for 4 days, just catching up with friends. Like
Just
it was
4
kind of on
days.
the way, and it was like the hottest time of the year. It was like 40 degrees.
You were there when the Queen died, yeah, or no?
No.
That was
So,
Bilal Ali.
yeah, that was recent.
Shout out again, another app. Keep talking about you.
There's Balenciagas in London.
That's gonna get cut from the episode now.
Yalla, Ali.
Well, yeah,
Keep it. I'll talk to him later.
I was there only for 4 days. So then after that, so I went to Sweden. So I went to go see my cousin that I've never met.
Yeah.
So yeah, crazy.
Wait, like cousin, cousin, or
second cousin, I think. Yeah, second cousin.
they
Yeah.
British?
No, in Sweden. So
Okay.
he's half Lebanese, half Palestinian. So his mum and my
Yeah.
dad are cousins.
Yeah.
See I'm going. I want to going to go Palestine. It's staying with his parents
Yeah,
in Palestine.
Oh.
So the family in Palestine, they have kids. One lives in America, one lives in Sweden.
yeah. He's a
Other
married
one.
man with kids. Yeah, he's
Mhm.
in his 30s. Yeah.
Oh, mashallah. Yeah.
So like I planned to go meet with him. So I was like, you know what, I'll go for a few days and stuff. And then I remember booking the flight and stuff, and I was gonna stay there initially for a week. And I thought to myself, like I was looking at like if I can go to Copenhagen, like Denmark, 'cause it's right there. I was like, oh, I want to go to this place because it's like so-called the happiest place in the world or one of the happiest. I need to check this out. Like, I need to even go for 2 days or whatever. So I ended up like, booking it last second. I was like, you know what? I'll take an overnight bus.
Yeah.
So I actually booked. So once I got to Sweden, I booked when I got to the Swedish airport. Like I checked into Wi-Fi and stuff. I booked to go to Copenhagen. So then I was like, you know what? So I took the bus from the Swedish Stockholm airport. I took it to the train station or the bus station.
Oh, so you just arrived.
I just arrived. I was like, you know what? Because I told my cousin, like,
Wow.
when's the best time I reckon to go? And he's like, just go now, man. And then I'll see you later.
You could have just gone straight to Copenhagen.
Yeah, but like, it was all booked. It was all booked, like,
You could
ages
have looked
ago.
at flights, like as in $20 flights.
The
You know?
thing is, yeah, as dumb as it sounds, yeah, it's in the summer.
He took a flight, then a bus to the train station, and then another.
Hey, and then I had to take a bus back.
Oh yeah.
But it's in
I
the
love
summer,
it.
so I booked it a while back, and I was checking. I checked other flights a while back, but then it gets
Expensive?
way too expensive. Yeah,
Yeah, even Ryanair.
yeah, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
You
right
know,
now.
Ryanair, you have to pay for carry-on luggage.
Yeah, I've seen
That's how
that.
budget they are.
Yeah, I seen that.
When
They
I saw
get you
that-
in, bro. They lie to you at the start. You think, bro, $50 tickets, and then they go to you, hey, luggage. You pass another $100. I don't want my luggage.
Yeah.
It's actually proper budget, man.
Mm.
So I
Okay,
ended up going. So I took the overnight bus, 12 hours to Copenhagen.
Oh, you should have taken the flight.
I don't know why I said yes, but I was like, you know what? I need to get to Copenhagen.
You're
bro.
trying to waste all
Yeah.
6 months, bro.
You just wanted to be happy.
Yeah, bro. I needed this happiness, bro.
Did anything good come of the bus ride? Anything good come of it?
Meditation.
Nah, it's overnight, cuz, like, what can
Did
you
you go
do?
to sleep?
I tried to, but you can't really go to sleep. And then there's like a stopover, a 3-hour stopover, like 3 a.m. or something, in like a place called Gothenburg or something. It's so random.
Gotham.
Yeah, Gothenburg.
Batman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ah.
It was so random, bro. I'm like here at 3 a.m. walking around this small Swedish town. I didn't know what I was doing.
It's 3 a.m. Like there's nothing
Right.
to do anyway.
Oh, there was some kebab stores open and stuff.
Is it scary though?
Yeah, what was that like?
Yeah,
Like
because
you
no,
just-
I'm just thinking, bro. You're
You
in
get lost
Sweden,
here?
yeah,
Yeah, khalas.
and then you drive towards like a country town. All I'm thinking about is Midsummer. I don't know if you ever watched that,
Oh, okay.
You
I've never
watched
watched
it?
those movies.
bro. What a weird joint, bro. I don't know if that's the truth. It had like some sort of cult in the country,
Yeah.
and I was like, all I can imagine is people with blonde eyebrows just walking around looking at Ali. Bro.
If I watched that, then I probably wouldn't have done it, bro.
You would have taken the flight to Copenhagen, huh?
Straight away, bro. No, but Scandinavian countries, bro, they're just like, it's super safe anyway. And you get the vibe as well. People are like very to themselves. They're not as social as Aussies in general.
Yeah.
Like especially Swedes, like they're very like just to themselves. They're very conservative. It's a bit strange as well. Like it's sometimes a bit socially awkward if you ask a question. You know, in Australia, like you ask someone a question, they're very friendly, easygoing. Swedes are just very awkward.
Yeah.
And this is because you don't speak their language, bro.
They speak English.
They
Speak
speak English
Swedish,
better
bro.
than us. Better than us.
They definitely speak
You know when you're halfway through one word and you say another one?
Yeah.
Usher.
better than us.
Yeah, they have
yeah.
great English.
Yeah, Scandinavians are. It's like they find that, you know, we say and we pause. The Scandinavians on purpose train themselves to not use those words because they want to be perfect in what they do.
Are they up front? Because I don't know if you watched Ted Lasso before.
Of course.
You know when that guy, they bring in the Scandinavian guy and he's always up front, he always tells them the truth.
Okay, I've watched season 1.
Testing him.
Yeah, anyway.
No, they are up front. Like obviously, I didn't get a
He only
situation.
tells the truth.
I
Like
didn't-
if you have a booger, he'll tell you have a booger.
Yeah, I didn't get a situation where they told me something offensive, but like you can just tell they're very straight.
So Copenhagen's the same? Danish people?
Yeah,
Oh.
they're a bit more relaxed. I think there's a big drinking culture in
Mm.
Denmark. Like it's really strong about part of their culture, drinking and also like pork and stuff like that. It was very
That's
So-
uncommon in Europe.
bro. Europe, it's huge. Bro. It's in your face, bro.
Yeah.
Like in Australia, it's at least like it's not so obvious and stuff like that. You can kind of stay away from it. So I was in Copenhagen only for like 3 days.
What was it like being impulsive, bro?
What do you mean?
As in like jumping from one
Like
spot.
spontaneous.
Yeah, spontaneous. You know,
I loved it because I don't think I've
because that's
Really
not
being that person.
within your personality trait, Loki, as well.
I like honestly. Because I remember even before making that decision and some other ones I did
Yeah.
later in the trip, I'll think to myself, but like, because I'll start to think about the whole journey of that day, the headache it is. And that's why in the past I've never done those type of things. Because you think about the whole situation,
Yeah.
Nah, Siebes, that's too
Like
much.
30-minute drive.
Yeah, all that.
It's gonna
You start
cost me
thinking about every
15 bucks.
details.
Yeah, yeah,
Petrol's
yeah.
too much.
Yeah, all that,
Mm.
man.
What's your thoughts on people that go and like book their itinerary out to like the T? You know what I mean? They go from the,
Oh, if you got 4 weeks,
yeah,
Yeah, I think
But when you
depends.
you
have-
can
Yeah.
pay 6 months, 9 months. It's a
I think-
different thing,
I
I
think-
think.
yeah.
bro.
yeah, Joko.
I think it does depend on how long you're in that place.
Hmm.
So
But you're not really on time like that, are you? You're like just more on vibes.
He had no rush to get back to
Yeah,
Spain.
honestly,
like,
Yeah, exactly.
because I had a lot of time, I was just there vibes, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'll search a few things up. But I was like, you know what? I'll just go for random walks, man.
Is it
Yeah.
expensive? Is it expensive in like Scandinavian countries?
Oh,
like
that's
Sweden
right, yeah.
and-
It's a lot more
Okay.
expensive than Australia. So like,
Scandinavian.
yeah, so coffee in general is just like $7-8.
How are they happy then?
Wait.
Yeah, I don't know, that's a good
usually, in those places, I think they probably earn more than us anyway. But
Yeah.
but even beyond that, like, were you having coffees next to landmarks, or in like very built-up touristy areas?
Look, I didn't have coffee much because it was $7, bro. So
Yeah,
I didn't
can
wanna
imagine,
pay.
Yeah,
I wanted,
But-
I wanted to.
$7
because I was speaking
Yeah,
to
for
somebody.
coffee.
I was speaking to somebody who had done a lot of traveling. He goes, there's a place in, I think it was Venice or something like that. It's like a landmark in Venice. At a cafe there, if you want to drink at the bar, if you drink at the bar the coffee, it's £3. €3. If you drink sitting down inside the restaurant, it's €6. And if you drink outside where you can see the view
Oh.
of the thing, it's €12.
Oh wow.
So he was like, yeah. He goes, imagine paying $24 for a cup of coffee, but it's because you get to sit down, drink it, and you're there in
The
front of the
view.
landmark kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's all based off the experience. That's why a lot of the time when you're in and amongst, they always tell you not to eat next to
main tourist
landmarks
spots.
or
Yeah.
lanes
Mm.
or main places, because not only do they also cut down on the amount because they're so busy, not only do they cut down on the freshness,
Yeah.
but they also increase the prices by a lot because it's convenient.
Yeah, it's all about the convenience. And you know, people when they're traveling short term, they're willing to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
For
Facts, yeah.
people like, I can't say I know anyone that's been to Sweden or Denmark. So what's there actually to do? Like, is it worth going? Is it?
Really,
You
it's
know?
just like the scenery. Just walking around, it's a beautiful city, different architecture compared to like Australia and stuff. Like, there's not a lot, obviously, in terms of landmarks as well. It's really like, I remember in Copenhagen, it's mostly I forgot the word. You know, in Amsterdam where it has like the boats and
The canals?
canals like that.
Yeah.
It's just those
I
type
was
of.
gonna say something
Yeah.
else.
It's just those type of scenic routes. So you just walk around. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
W-
Yeah.
Was that where you met one of the listeners of
canal.
Fedincom? Where was that? Sweden?
Okay, so that was in
okay.
Sweden. So that's after Copenhagen. So when I did get back to Sweden,
Sweden.
I remember
Sweden,
messaging.
Sweden.
So obviously I was
This guy's
posting.
tongue. Sorry.
I was posting a few times here and there, and then I remember one brother replied to me. And obviously, when someone you don't know like messages you kind of suss the profile because it's just curiosity. And then I seen he's in Sweden. I'm like, you know what, Bismillah, he's a Muslim brother.
What happens if he was like a wayfarer that changes his location and he was one of those on you?
Kidder, yeah? Kills a kid in front of you and you don't know why.
Okay,
Alhamdulillah.
next time. People don't get it.
How do
Next
you
time.
think of stuff like that?
Let's go.
It's good talking about wayfarers. You're talking about killers.
I'm confused, bro.
So I ended up messaging him, and he
Well,
said,
I'm
"Yeah, I'm
interested.
actually in Sweden. Like, I'm like, let's like meet up, inshallah." And then we actually met up. He's a Palestinian brother. He's maybe a few years older than me and stuff like that. We ended up spending the day together.
Mm.
Showed me around, and honestly, amazing experience because he's such a down to earth guy. He's sharing experiences with me, and to be honest, I'm the one that initiated the conversation, or also the meetup. But he couldn't believe that I actually initiated that and that we're actually talking because he listens to the podcast. And he kept, and randomly during the day he'll look at me,
Wow.
he'll be like, "Bro, I can't believe we met up, man. I
Mm.
can't believe we're sharing these stories. Like, we're from different sides of the world, Muslims. We have similar like trials and tribulations. We have similar mindset. It's like
And we're from
an
Ah,
amazing
no, wow.
experience." And he kept bringing it up random times because we'll get into random conversations about life and stuff.
What's his
Every
brother's
time-
name?
What's his name?
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
That's a-
Shout out
Shout
to.
out to you, Aladdin, mate.
that's a mad
Inshallah.
name.
Yeah.
How's Princess Jasmine doing?
Hey, so anyway. Wait, so did he watch like your video that you were leaving here? You were
No, I
leaving
think
for
generally
Spain?
he was watching.
Okay, and he knew that you were out of town or
I
whatever.
think he was following me, so he knew I was out of town.
Gotcha.
But then I messaged him to catch up,
Mm.
and I told him specifically, I'm like, "Look, bro, I wasn't sure about messaging, but I did it because I was like, at the end of the day, I don't know. Like, I don't want to think I'm someone that's like a big guy. Like, look, I'm traveling the world and I'm messaging someone that's following us that I don't even know you. But then I was like, Bismillah, you're a Muslim brother. I'll see what comes out of it. And he said, even next time you come to Sweden, like, I'll show you around. You'll meet, the rest of the community, some of the brothers and stuff. It's like beautiful.
So he's Swedish, yeah? He's from Sweden.
He's
I'm born
Palestinian.
and raised there, but like Palestinian.
Palestine.
Yeah.
Did he talk about the community, how the Muslims are in
What's it
Sweden?
like?
Is
Yeah.
it like a big, is like here the percentage? Like,
He said it didn't seem as big as our community. And also he said it's not as active. Like, that's the feel I got from it. It's very hard because he's a married man as well, so he's maybe not as much in the community as he would like to be because just time and stuff. But he said it is very difficult to practice in Sweden, Scandinavian countries and stuff like that. So it was very surprising that, because you'd think the community is a lot bigger, because he's not actually from Stockholm, I just remember now. So Stockholm is the capital. He's from a place called Uppsala.
Yeah, I know
I think
that.
it's like 40 minutes or something. You got family there?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of Somalis in
inshallah.
Sweden.
That's
So
good.
that where they straight in the head?
What?
No, that's what I heard.
How do you hear
Somalis in
these things?
Sweden straight in the head. That's what I heard. Wallah.
Maybe because the cold, that's how they cope with it.
What, straight in the head? This doesn't speak.
Yalla, yalla.
So honestly, that experience in itself was just amazing. Even though we just spent one day, like, it went a long way because he's a super genuine guy. He wasn't there like trying to like impress me or anything, and I
Yeah.
could see it straight away
True.
from the way he was speaking to me. He paid for almost everything that I was doing, even though like I
Wow,
was
really?
pushing for
Wow.
it. Like, but he's Arab at the end of the day. He's not gonna let me pay.
Yeah.
And I was
Universal.
yeah.
mate.
So alhamdulillah, like honestly, that type of experience just makes you feel like alhamdulillah, like we have this sort of platform, no matter how small or big it is, that we're reaching out to other people, and then you do get opportunities such as that to meet people from across the world. Like,
Yeah,
he would have known who I am. I would have never met
100%.
another Swedish brother.
Honestly, this is something that I'm intrigued by. You probably won't do this, but I'm going to ask for it anyway. Wherever you're from, put the flag in the comment section, please. Because we'd love to know where everyone's from.
Yeah.
Because that would be amazing. I know I read
Yeah.
a couple, some people from Canada, some people from here, some people, I was like, whoa, that's just amazing. I heard someone from Belize.
What's that? Where's that?
I don't even know.
Okay.
This is
that's
Belize,
crazy.
bro.
Someone,
I'm in South America, but
you remember when someone asked us to translate us because they didn't understand us because of our Australian accent sign?
yeah,
Really?
makes sense, bro. I
That was
don't
like last
understand
week or
myself.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Wow.
It was probably Swahili. It was definitely
I
Swahili.
speak in Mish English, bro. But, Central America. There you go.
Belize.
Thank you very much.
Which country?
You've been
Is
replaced
that,
as
is that the
Jamie.
country?
That's your job, bro. Did you meet anyone with a microchip?
Is that popular in Sweden? It is, yeah.
Apparently,
On the
yeah, it's in
hand.
here, yeah.
What?
And then they
Apparently,
can buy,
yeah.
and that's
This is
the
the first time hearing
They
this.
need AI.
Yeah,
And
they
they give like
pay.
15-year-olds too. They give to kids. That was a
Yeah.
big thing.
They use it to enter the houses and stuff, yeah?
How'd you get into the Airbnb?
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you do hostel there?
You guys take the piss.
Did you do hostel there?
No,
We're not
it's a-
taking the
no,
piss,
it's an
bro.
actual
We're being
thing.
serious.
Oh, look at Ahmed. Like, what are these guys on about, bro?
Ahmed's got no clue, bro. Don't look at Ahmed for anything.
Ahmed's, yeah.
Wallah, I don't know if
It's
he's
a
serious.
We'll watch it later. Watch some
Can't even
videos.
look at anything up, bro. This is doing it.
Hang on a sec. You guys are not subscribed. I think you guys, before you start the video, make sure you subscribe, turn off the notification bell, and enjoy the rest of the video. So in Sweden, the hostel I was staying with, I was speaking to a lot of people from other Scandinavian countries. Because like Sweden's not really a massive tourist attraction compared to like other places nearby.
What's the...
I think Norway's even more
Yeah.
popular because the lights and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I was going to say.
So I think apparently also apparently in cost of living, I think Norway's the most expensive. Denmark then Sweden.
Is also more north as well. It depends on that as well, yeah?
What's Norway?
You know, I mean, like between two.
Yeah.
We're on one today, wallah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously, the more north you go, the more expensive it's going to go, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
assuming that might be one of the reasons why.
yeah, generically, Scandinavian countries because the north, but just how it is over there, just the lifestyle, it's way too expensive, man.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think they do make more money than us, but it could, I don't know, to be honest, man. It's interesting because when I was there in Sweden, the people I met from our hostel, a lot of them were from like Denmark, Finland and stuff like that. So I was asking them these questions about like so-called happiest place and all that. And they think it's mostly from the benefits they get. like Medicare and stuff like that.
Let's hear. So what's these benefits they get?
Did you experience 24-hour sunlight? You know, the summer solstice?
I think it's more in Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
in-
it's up there, isn't it?
It's Norway.
Not Sweden. Yeah.
Like Sweden,
Yeah, isn't it?
They,
Close
it's
Is it
not
high?
even Norway. It's this little like
Yeah.
island that's even more north of just.
Yeah.
I know,
It's like-
in
it might-
Russia, at the top of Russia,
Yeah.
there's a place that has 24-hour sunlight and 24-hour darkness. If you were,
For it's like 6 months or something for the
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Mm.
yeah, I think it's more Norway, but even in like Sweden to Copenhagen, because I think Sweden's more north. I think it was on the way back.
Yeah.
Mm.
Even the darkness of light of the nighttime isn't that dark, so it doesn't
SubhanAllah.
really get that dark. I remember it was like 2 a.m. and I was looking outside the bus and it was like
Yeah.
looked like just after sunset kind of thing. So
SubhanAllah.
weird,
Mm.
that was at what time?
like 2 a.m. ish,
And it's
Mm.
like it's
because
still
you expect it to be fully dark,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
pitch black
What
when you're
time
on a
was
bus,
sunrise? Like 4 o'clock?
something like that.
That's elite,
3:30.
yeah.
That's
So
elite.
that's
So
like
it's only 5
2:22.
hours like nighttime.
When it's winter here, I'm going to Sweden, bro.
Mm. I like.
Inshallah.
I would stay
Let's
summer.
show them.
Can you
Yeah.
tell us
Huh?
about
Wait.
What are you gonna do?
No, go transition. It's all good.
I just wanted to hear about the happiness because I actually want to know why these guys. Because it's different when you watch like a YouTube video and you ask like locals.
Ask Alakumi, bro.
They were talking mostly about like benefits about like couples when like the woman's pregnant, and then they get the leave, and then the husband gets the leave as well, and then they actually get extra expenses, and even the government gives them like actual like products for what they need, stuff like that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like Australia does get some benefits, but then I think it's just like the next level of in terms of
Mm.
extra benefits they get,
Yeah.
time off work
We
and
get
that.
plenty of benefits. Don't you like 5K for having a baby?
Something like that, maternity leave. They
Honestly-
introduced paternity leave here, so
Oh, even maternity, like, doesn't Centrelink pay you like 5K for a
They
baby?
they give you some.
I haven't
Yeah,
did
pretty
both
good.
yet.
Alhamdulillah. Okay.
But like I think in terms of the happiest place in the world, I think because Copenhagen has the most bicycles in the world, like or riders, cyclists. The second most in the world. I think that makes a difference in terms of health, general health.
Why is he laughing?
I don't know what's that.
No, because I don't know where he's gonna draw the link, and I just find like bicycles.
No, it's general health,
Yeah.
health. Because you're commuting to work,
Yeah.
you're cycling every day, you're more
Oh,
healthy
okay,
in
makes
general.
sense, yeah.
So your lifestyle's more healthy.
Mm.
And
Serotonin.
that helps with it helps with your
Mm.
mental health in general.
Mm.
And you think about Australia, we drive bloody to Safeway, that's 2 minutes away.
Facts, yeah.
Mm.
Speak for yourself. Thank you very much. So after you've done Copenhagen, after you've done Sweden, what was the next destination? It's Austria, yeah?
Yeah, Vienna.
How was Vienna?
By the way, before we get to that,
Yeah.
sorry, Sus. In between all this time, do you have a bit of do you have a bit of a rush to get to Spain, or it's just like let me just enjoy whatever Western, Eastern Europe, and then
Honest-
get to Spain?
Honestly, I was so rapt to be on that side. I had to say no to certain other countries because I wanted to do everything.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had time.
Mashallah.
Like obviously, one thing I wanted to go to Spain, right? But at
Yeah.
the same time, I knew there was no rush in coming back home because
For
usually
sure.
you go on a trip for maybe a week or two
Mhm.
and you have a date to go back home. But now it's like crap. I can go to all the places I want to go, but I can't. But then you still have to say no. So no matter what, like what I realized with traveling in general,
Mm.
even when I explain my trip later on, you can, even if you have the time to do so many things, other doors will open that you still have to say no to. So in order to say yes to something, you have to say no to something else.
Okay,
Get
give us an example.
Come back philosopher.
I like this. I don't know how I like this.
Mm.
So
What's
like
a
for
Spanish
example,
philosopher that we know?
Dora.
let's say from Sweden.
Al-
Let's say from
Busquets.
Sweden, I went to Vienna, right? That's what I actually did. So I said yes to that. But then I was actually thinking about going to Norway and going to Belgium because like these countries I've never been. I was like, you know what, I can go for 2 days.
Mhm.
So these options only came about because I realized in the moment. So like this Copenhagen option I had, I did research randomly. I'll be like, okay, I'll look at the map. I can go here.
Yeah.
I can take a bus.
Yeah.
But then you can't do everything. You know what I mean?
Mm.
What?
You catch a flight to take a bus again, and yeah.
Bro, I'm on a budget. This guy doesn't get it. What a budget, bro.
Bro, it's gonna cost
For
you
like
50
6
bucks.
months. I'm telling, and it's a lot easier, bro.
That's hilarious.
No, I
bro.
get you. I get you. 100%. Because times you might have.
I don't have your sort of money, cuz.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, back to my question before I was really
Austria.
interrupted. How was Austria?
So in Austria, in Vienna, I stayed with. So one of my dad's friends, he went to like Muslim youth camps back in the day and stuff. He kept in touch over the years. He actually lives there.
He used to live here and he moved there.
He used to live in Sydney.
Okay,
Now
yeah.
he lives there because he's married to an Austrian.
Okay.
And so I stayed with them. So alhamdulillah, that was mad. I get to meet one of my dad's friends on the other side of the world, and so he took me around a few times as well.
And he's got kids in that, I'm guessing?
Yeah, but then some of them, like one of them was traveling around Europe. One works in Munich, like 3 hours away. And then, yeah, it's all over the place.
How'd you get to Austria? Did you take the bus?
This guy. It's not that funny. Obviously, I took a flight. That's pretty far, bro.
Okay, so you must have got the real cultural experience then if you were staying with a family from Austria.
Yeah, it was mad. So they'll take me to a lot of like places of recommendations for. It's a lot of palaces, bro. Because the Austrian-Hungarian like
War.
history is huge, bro, from the war and stuff.
Mm.
So honestly, in terms of culture, it is very similar to Melbourne because cafes are a big thing for them and coffee and stuff. Even though their coffee is very different. But
What do you mean different?
What's different, yeah?
well, they put
Good
like
question, Ashraf.
cream as part of their coffee, and that's their Vienna coffee, and that's
Oh,
what
That,
they
is
like.
that part of instead of milk they put cream?
They only put cream instead
Oh,
of milk.
what?
Yeah,
That's their standard coffee, yeah?
standard
It's a
coffee.
macchiato.
I wouldn't drink that, man.
Yeah.
That's a macchiato.
That's
Wouldn't
basically
do coffee.
macchiato. Yeah.
And also, like with the coffee, like you have to have a like pastry. Like that's just part of their culture.
They dip it in the coffee.
No, thank God.
That's what the French do.
What they
Mm.
put it in there?
Like dip the
What
croissant in the coffee.
What did they do? What's a croissant?
Croissant. My bad. But yeah, so
For me, that's too much, man.
but do you notice something about Vienna? Vienna is always neck and neck with Melbourne as the two
Is it?
Liverpool, yeah, they are. Yeah,
most livable
No.
cities.
Are they?
they're up there. I'm
I
pretty
didn't
sure
know that.
they beat Melbourne now. I
Maybe
think.
because COVID or lockdown the whole year.
yeah,
So.
but they are very. It is very
Yeah,
similar.
copped it because of that. 100%.
Yeah, but why is it like what you obviously living in the most livable city in the world and going to the second most? What's the similarities, differences? What do you got?
It's hard to tell when you're there for a week, but
A week? You were there for a week?
Week's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say you can like
No,
it
but
wasn't
then-
multicultural like here.
You're not asking anyone that?
Food.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know until I came back that it's one of the most livable.
Mhm.
I went because I was like, you know what, my dad's friends there.
Why not?
I'll go check
Free
it out.
accommodation.
Free accommodation, exactly. And it's very central in terms of Europe. So you can go elsewhere. I did day trips from there.
Yeah.
So in terms of location, it's one of the best.
How did you do the day trips?
Took the bus.
Okay, so
Bro, wait till I get this right. Yeah. That's all I took for her.
you took a flight.
I'm sorry. I'm a child.
No, I
wallah.
actually want to know this Vienna. Like what, you know?
I think it is very multicultural, very like artsy. I think that's a one big thing, which is like very nice city, like very scenic and stuff like that. And obviously with their history, that kind of does help in bringing in tourists. We didn't have much history in Melbourne.
Are they very relaxed people? Like, because one thing that I noticed about London in comparison to us is these guys are go, 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 go. Sydney,
Yeah.
similar. Go, 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 go. It's like they're running to something, but God knows what they're
London's
running
way
to. You
too
know what I mean?
crazy.
Like, I don't understand it. Like, but is it similar to us where, like, everybody's more relaxed,
Yeah.
chilled, laid back?
I reckon they are because of the big cafe culture and coffee culture that people do tend to just naturally be more relaxed and just, you know, chilling, socializing more than other cities.
Yeah. Is
Pretty
it, sorry, go ahead.
No, no,
bro.
go. I'm pretty sure Vienna is a coffee blend too, bro. I'll fact check that.
Oh,
but
really?
Maybe
continue.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about
You got a problem.
price? Because we know Scandinavia is expensive. Like you said, you probably make more money than us. Is Vienna similar to us? Like with we'll say food prices. Like when you go out to eat, is it the same as here?
Burger, $25.
It's not as expensive as Scandinavian countries,
Okay.
but it's up there. Like I think it is the same as Australia.
Yeah.
It's in that balance because apparently Switzerland's the most expensive, then it's Scandinavian, and I think Austria is probably the same.
I think Iceland's up there with accommodation. I don't know about food,
Yeah.
but I know they say it's pretty
Okay.
one of the most expensive places for accommodation.
Paid $35 for the most dead kebab I've ever eaten in my life. So if you're from, there's only one kebab shop that's halal.
In Iceland?
That is dead. You need to fix that. Talk to Tech Foods, please. Actually, no, blurb that out. They haven't paid us yet.
SubhanAllah. So Austria, you did day trips.
Yeah.
Just say where, and then we might ask some questions because I got some points I want to
So
bring
I
up.
went from there. I went to Prague. It's like 4 hours north, and then Budapest, like 3 hours south.
What, hours by plane or by?
By bus, bro. This guy knows.
That was good. Come on.
Alhamdulillah,
People
was.
gave the poker face. What? By I play.
It's because people want to know. Our audience love hearing the information, and then they're like,
Yeah.
okay, now I can replicate it. They need to know what Ali did. You know.
That's true. So I do recommend buses. Yeah. So I only went for day trips. I didn't even stay overnight. I'll leave like straight after Fajr. I'll take the bus and then I'll stay there till like maybe 9, 10 p.m. and then go back. Because there was when I did research, there was only like a few things to go see, which is like you can smash it out in a day. Especially if you're by yourself, you're not waiting on people like because for time and stuff like that. You can be a lot more effective with your time.
That's one of the positives of being traveling alone and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
you can
easily
smash,
smash
and
things
you
out.
also do the things you want. If there's someone else with you, they might want to do something.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's what you decide.
And you spend as much time as you want there. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Hold that question for 1 second.
Yeah.
Will you in the middle of the night ever go, you know what? I can't sleep. You know what? Let me go walk the streets.
That is
Did you ever do
yeah,
that?
That's good.
In Vienna, I didn't do it because it was a bit awkward. I was staying.
With the people you
Yeah.
you can walk out the front door.
Other places I did, like in Sweden and stuff. But then in Vienna, because I was actually staying on the outskirts of Vienna. So even like where we were staying, so on the edge, and then the next suburb is like considered outside Vienna. Only people in the streets spoke German. They didn't speak English.
That's sick.
Yeah. Because in Austria, they only speak, like, that's their national language, German.
Yeah.
So then in the outskirts, no one spoke English. It was very strange. And then when they go to the city,
Yeah.
obviously it's all tourists. So
It's
you
kinda
have to know English.
Yeah. For us, a lot of people, they hear about well, I'm going Europe for 3 weeks and I'm doing 14 countries or something. You know what I mean? Like everyone goes hard. And now you said a lot of the places you went is a 1 day thing.
Yeah.
Do you like the 1 day, 2 day? Do you prefer a week in a place, or is it depending on the place?
I honestly think even though I went for those 1 days and I did most of the things I wanted to do, staying 1 night at least or 2 nights is actually better. Because you're way too rushed, man. Like, obviously, I didn't have much time, so I was only in Vienna for a week, so it's like, I'll make the most of it. I'll tick it off, I'll go see some things. It's better than nothing, right? But it's way too rushed, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Budapest or Prague, like, you're always looking at the clock. It's like, 4 hours, 3 hours. And, like, yeah, it's not bad, because it's stuff I'm doing for fun. But then if you're always looking at the clock, you're not living in the moment as much as you could be.
True.
And these were bonuses to your trip. They weren't your trip. Like your goal wasn't that. So if you imagine you leave the country here and you go to Europe, and for 3 weeks you're looking at the clock each day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go from
Yeah.
one rush to
Yeah.
another rush.
You
Yeah.
wanna
Always
marinate
thinking
in
about the next
culture.
thing. Yeah. So there's pros and cons to that.
Did you at least get the feel of the country when you were in there for, like, say, that day or whatever it was?
I think I did kinda, but
You
maybe not as much as I
more?
could have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you don't recommend that at all? Yeah.
Yeah, especially people doing short trips, I don't recommend
In a
it.
couple days.
Like you want to go back
Yeah.
to these places?
Prague, I would. Prague's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It would be nicer to share it with someone. I think Prague, because it seems more.
Someone like
Yeah.
like a mate or what
Hey,
type
cut
of
that out.
what type of vibe is it? Is it?
Yeah, it's actually a very beautiful city.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure if you've seen, but it's like it looks very similar. If you get those like bird's eye views,
Yeah.
all the architecture is very similar, and it's just a beautiful look. It's very like the simplicity.
Well, recently it was rated. I don't know. There's two big travelers on YouTube. One's Indigo Traveler, and the other one, I don't know if you guys know. It's like Drew Binsky or something. I think that's what his name is. Nah.
So carry on.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not that dumb. Cut that one out. Cut it out. Didn't hear what I said.
anyway,
Bastard.
we'll resume here. Anyway, so two big travelers, Indigo Traveler and Drew Binsky, rang a guy, Orange Beat or whatever.
Okay.
He was ranking like he had like a goal. I don't know how long it was, like over the last 6 years, to visit every country in the world. So he went to literally every single
Oh, I
country.
know this guy. I
Yeah.
saw him.
Is he the Renga?
The
Yeah.
Ranger, yeah.
He
With
went
the
Saudi
Ranger.
was his last country. Yeah, he just did
Saudi
it.
was his
Yeah.
last country,
wow.
197.
And I'm gonna make a comment after this about him.
Yeah.
His number one country, what it was.
And it was, number one city was Prague.
Number one city.
Yeah.
Like, what was number one country?
I don't know his number one
Wasn't
country.
African country?
No, it's Philippines.
Philippines,
That's
yeah.
all.
He had
Number one
Philippines
country
in
was
there.
his number one. So, because that's when Carla Osman said it, I remembered.
Because I'm pretty sure he
Wow.
did a top 5 list for countries and top 5 list for cities. And Prague was one of, it's called his highest.
Really?
And I remember when he said that, Ashraf told me that you didn't rate Prague as much just because it's a different environment, you know what I mean, in terms of the drinking culture and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Well,
If
in the
I'm-
moment, it can be a bit uncomfortable, like feeling like an outsider. If that's strongly a part of their culture,
Yeah.
and if you do research on like certain cities and all they're talking about, wine tasting and
Yeah,
places
exactly.
like that. And it's like you look at it, it's like, bro, I can only do half the things, not even.
Yeah.
And this is so-called one of the best cities in the world. So at the start, it was a bit like sour. Like I was like, oh, like I went obviously because it's convenience right there. I might as well check it out
True.
Huh?
and see what there is. I didn't mind seeing the few things I did. So in the moment, it was a bit like, oh, I'm not missing out. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. Can I ask though, like when you left Melbourne though, you didn't. When you left Melbourne though, you didn't have Prague on that list of countries or cities to visit.
Nah.
Yeah.
It was always an idea.
Yeah.
Then when I got there, I was like, you know what, I'll do it. Smash it out.
Can I ask, did those places end up being better than the ones that I guess you sort of planned for? Like, you know how sometimes, like, I guess, like, let's just say if I'm going from, let's say if I have a trip planned to, like, London, but then I detour and I go to France for a day or something like that. Yeah? And it's spontaneous, but they end up being better than the ones you actually planned. Was that sort of the case there?
I reckon Prague was,
Yeah.
because, look, honestly, the Scandinavian countries, like, first of all, Sweden, what made the trip was me, my cousin, and Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, there's not much really to see in the Scandinavian countries. Maybe Norway for the lights, but I didn't do that. But then it wasn't as nice as maybe Prague or Vienna.
Yep.
I found it very similar to Australia. I don't know why.
Yeah, true.
Expensive, not a lot to see compared to other cities
Mm-hmm.
nearby.
So just so we know, after this, you went to Spain. Yes, this is the Europe part.
Habla español.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a guy on recently, Carl Osman, who's from Europe.
Who made an outrageous
No,
comment.
Yeah.
no,
No,
stop.
no.
Let's not do that.
But I need to hear someone's opinion.
Yeah.
'Cause
It was outrageous to me, though.
that,
It's
that,
outrageous
that's fine.
completely, 100%.
Yeah,
but
of
I'm saying let's not throw my man under the bus.
Oh, he's under the bus now.
Well, the bus is already taken.
The bus is
now you're
taken.
reversing the bus, and Ali's in the passenger seat.
Bad.
Come on, bro.
There you go. What's his question?
Fam, I don't know what it is. You come back from a trip and these two run amok on something. The scuba diving thing. Now you're the bus guy, bro. So embrace it.
Bus is alright. Bus is alright.
We also had a SpongeBob episode. You know the one where he's trying to catch the bus. And
Why do you always have a SpongeBob reference there?
Yeah, this guy's strong memory,
I
bro.
can't understand your accent. You know that one?
Oh, that.
I don't know
Will
anything.
you carry on? What
Yeah.
were you saying?
Carl Osman is from England, and he went on a lot of school trips around Europe. But he said after exploring other places, he thinks England, inshallah I'm correct, I'm paraphrasing, England's a bit overrated and it's a bit repetitive.
Europe is.
Yeah, Europe. Oh, sorry, Europe's a bit repetitive and a bit overrated. Like he thinks it's better experience to go invest in Southeast Asia. He went Africa and stuff like that. So after you traveled, a bit of Europe, do you think it's repetitive, overrated? What's your thoughts, you know? Because you see a lot of people here, a lot of people came to visit you. And everyone travels and they go Europe. So it's like that kind of thing, you know?
I did kind of get that feel towards the end, slightly, because I kept seeing on my list, like writing things from the videos I watch, like I'm just going to go see churches. It's like, after a while, I just kept seeing the same things. Like it was very similar. I think it does get very repetitive. Especially, well, maybe because I was doing short trips.
Yeah,
so
true.
everything was kind of rushed, and I was like not getting the time to even just relax and just chill. So I think it does get repetitive. Like some of those cities, they're nice, but then it wouldn't have been that bad if I missed out on them. So I think sometimes you can think to yourself, oh, like it sounds amazing because it's in Europe. It's a beautiful name, beautiful city. Well, like the sounds of certain people's opinions, but I think only certain countries were worth its visit. Like I think you have to do more research on the culture and depending on what you want to look for. But yeah, I think it does get repetitive.
But it also goes back to what you're saying as well, like, because you were short trips, you spent like a couple of days or so there, probably max was like a week. You probably didn't have your time to immerse yourself in the culture and see it, like, compared to like Austria, for example.
Yeah.
When you immersed it, you saw a little bit different.
Yeah,
in that,
exactly.
you know?
And because if you think about it, if you do have a short time somewhere, all you're thinking about is actually doing stuff. Whereas like usually a lot of times in the holiday, you just want to relax. Just walk around, see whatever you see, bump into like a new place you never thought of.
Yeah.
But you never get those thoughts when you're not only there for a few days because you're just trying to tick things off.
Yeah.
Trying to go to places that the videos have said because you think to yourself, oh, people are going to ask you, did you try that? Did you go there?
Yeah.
I think...
And
Okay.
was gonna say, and it only takes like one guy like Aladdin for you to like meet in like Sweden or something along those lines to make the whole trip in that certain location completely different, you know?
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
I think our mindset with traveling Europe when we go is a bit flawed, which is why it feels repetitive, because we get shallow touches of each one. We go to the cathedrals, obviously, and that's like what we do. We go 3 weeks, 7 countries, 8 countries, 1-2 days each. We don't really immerse ourselves. So if you did say, hey, instead of spending 2 days in 8 places, I'll spend 5 days in 4, you kind of would get a better feel for it. Yeah, because then you actually understand culture and you're like, okay, this is how Austrians are different to Germans and how they're different to people from Luxembourg. You kind of get a real feel of it.
Like, you know what I hear from people, certain people always tell me, France is a waste of time, don't go Paris. France, yeah. One thing for me is like, I haven't been. That's the thing, because every time I had the plan to go, alhamdulillah, strikes on the train, and there was no buses, and
Ali knows
a bus. But no, anyways. But every time I tried to go, I wasn't able to go. But one thing that I would love to have done is to go into, like, for example, I was watching Gino Fred and Gordon Ramsay. I was telling you about that show, and they go on their road trips. And they went to France, but they went to like Bordeaux, they went to Marseille, they went to all these like these other parts of the country that are a little bit more like
village type.
You would say more French than Paris, which is gonna be the
international
the
city,
international city where you're gonna get obviously the higher crime rates and so on and so forth. Like, that's the one thing that I think people need to do. From what I've experienced, I went to London for 2 weeks once. Bro, that's why I love London so much. That's why I love the experience, because I think I got to sit there and marinate in the situation. But, for example, we have mates who went overseas, who went to London and go, they only went for 4 days. They were like, bro, it's a waste of time. I wouldn't go again, you know? And I'm like, yeah, but like...
You can't, It's like when people go to a restaurant and they try one thing, like dead restaurant. It's like, what's your order? It's like, oh, this is good at that restaurant. You know, you kind of have to give yourself a real shot. I think the thing about France is, or at least Paris gets the most tourists in the world. Like, literally, they get the most tourists in the world. So because of that, it's on everyone's list. Like, what is it? The city of love, this, that. People just say you have to go Paris. Eiffel Tower. So because of that, you have the highest expectations. Like, you're going to go and you're going to love it. If you're going and looking at the Eiffel Tower, how are you going to, like, you know, obviously it's beauty, and but you don't get a feel of the culture. You don't speak the language, you know?
Definitely, 100%. But let's switch gears.
Let's go.
Talk about Espanol, huh?